Yes, everyone, good morning. Is anyone excited for a massive week for Manchester United? Well, we've got all of your news covered here on FUTV United TV this Monday, the 11th. Yes, a third of the way through the month now. It is closing in on transfer deadline day and the season is about to kick off. Where are Manchester United at with that midfielder and the goalkeeper? Big updates on both of them situations this morning, on both Donnarumma and Carlos Baleba. We're bringing you all the up-to-date news from last night, late last night as well. We had loads of news over the weekend, which has gone into late last night into the early hours of this morning, which we're going to bring you on Baleba. A big update on Donnarumma on the situation Manchester United are at with Andre Onana. Also this week, a friendly behind closed doors for Benjamin Sesko. What's happening with Garnacho? What's happening with Jadon Sancho as well? Updates on both of them two this morning also, and developments on where Chelsea are at, in particular on the Garnacho side of things. Sancho, well, you let me know in the comment section, live if you are live, and in the comments afterwards if you're playing catch up on Jadon Sancho, what you think is going to happen with the news that we've got this morning. So, where are we starting? Of course, Manchester United's record bid, which it will be if they want to go and get Carlos Baleba. We went through all of the news throughout the weekend. We was waiting for a big gun to come out and confirm what was happening with Carlos Baleba. And Fabrizio Romano last night did come in and give us a significant update on Carlos Baleba and where Manchester United are at. In Romano's words, pretty much, give or take, he basically said that Manchester United used this weekend to gauge where Carlos Baleba was at with the potential move. Basically, going into the contacts of Carlos Baleba, the representatives of Baleba, as we said yesterday, there's lots of sources now from smaller accounts and smaller journalists, and not as big as Romano or Ornstein, say, for instance, that are coming out and saying, because they can, because their reputation is as big as them too, I would think. So they always need to get a little bit more information before they go in with the big headlines, whereas others don't really, it doesn't really matter as much to them. It does, but still, if you're Romano and you come out and say these things, you have to be 100% certain. So Romano, as you'd expect, comes out afterwards, after everyone's had their piece, and this is significant as well, because in his words, he was saying that this weekend was a big weekend for Manchester United, because they went all in trying to find out what was possible with the Baleba situation and whether or not to move on to other targets or not. And after the weekend and contacting the players' representatives and staying in touch for the last 4 or 5 days now, as Romano said last week, and then reaffirming that last night, he has said that Manchester United are still on with this deal. They're still looking into the possibility of signing Carlos Baleba off the back of talking to the player himself. Now, keeping in contact with the agents and obviously making sure that the player is 100% on board with this, like we said over the weekend, is Manchester United's tactics throughout the summer. And obviously United are going to have to put a substantial amount of money down to get Brighton interested in this. So United needed to be 100% concrete certain that Baleba would go for this and would push this. As we said last night, there were stories going around that United have asked Carlos Baleba to ask specifically for a transfer request, or put it officially in writing and put a transfer request in to move this along. I don't think this is going to help the deal in any particular way, putting the transfer request in, but a player making it clear to a parent club that he wants out would then bring that team to the table, that club to the table, to negotiate. Now that's where Manchester United would move on to the next stage, which is, okay, they have contacted Brighton, they know in and around what the price is going to be for Baleba. They don't want to sell. United therefore need to pay an absolute premium to get Carlos Baleba, as we know. So United, within their resources and then moving things around within their finances, would know what is coming for the rest of this window, which is important, which we're going to discuss as well later in this show. Who is going, what money can be made, or what are our finances going to look like by the time this transfer window ends, which is probably going to be about the time, if United went for a bid for Baleba, it would be done. Don't expect him to come in anytime soon. This is going to be one of the, it's not a saga because it's not gone on long, it's going to be the story of the last 3 weeks of this transfer window. Baleba to United, if United go all in. Now this week is massive for that, because United probably would have to make their intentions clear to Brighton as to what they want to do and where they're going with this. So again, what Romano said was vital, in that Manchester United have used the weekend to gauge the players' perspective on things and what he would like to do. And what he would like to do, according to everyone so far that has reported on this, from the African journalist over in Cameroon who we've been talking about, to the smaller accounts and smaller journalists that have been trying to find out what's going on. Andy Mittens had his say on this. The Athletic, obviously, Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell have had their say on this. Romano, as we know, has been the one keeping us up to date with the player side of things and the agents. It is all coming down to Baleba would like to move to Manchester United. All we're waiting for now is that to come out officially, and B, he wants United. Like an Ornstein would, he would tweet that out. Carlos Baleba has made it clear he has asked Brighton to move to Manchester United. Romano would do something similar to that, and Manchester United would then go deep into negotiations, and then it's nail-biting time. For every single Manchester United fan at this point, we're looking at this and we're saying, oh God, where is this money coming from? What are we doing? Can we actually make this bid? Are we going to see Manchester United pull off another absolute blockbuster transfer this summer? Again, I've said this before. I am confident if United go in that we will get Baleba. I think at this stage right now, it's in limbo. It is in limbo because United will be calculating everything. Look, they have done everything right here. They have contacted Brighton. Brighton have contacted Baleba, according to reports this is, to let the player know that obviously United have been in touch. Everything has been done right and above board and everything is where it needs to be. But still, Brighton have put an offer on the table for Baleba to extend his contract and significantly up his wages. His wages are quite low, so that's not a difficult one. His thought United's bid in terms of personal terms was always completely eclipse what Brighton are about to offer. So Brighton doing their bit just to make sure. Their plan was a year before what they wanted to do. They were going to sell Baleba next summer, and this is, like we've said before, how they operate and what they do. So United have tried to steal in a year before. Are Brighton in a position? And can United get a bid in quickly enough to give Brighton the idea of replacing or bringing somebody else through for Baleba? So that's why this week is vital, time-wise and timescale for Brighton and Manchester United. Because United, if they want a midfielder, which is being said they are going to get, would have to pivot across to another target very quickly in the last few weeks of the window. And again, like I just said, with Brighton, if they are going to say yes and they get their feeling that United are going to be able to afford Carlos Baleba, I'm sure that they will gauge this off Manchester United's initial approach and we'll see if it is anywhere near what Brighton want. But if they do go into negotiations with Manchester United, it means that the deal is on and they would need to find somebody else as well. So again, this week is absolutely crucial to this deal. Yes, it's the build-up. Yes, it's all of the party parade and everything leading up to the start of the Premier League season, and that's probably going to take over most of the chit-chat and talk online as we get to the weekend. But don't forget that this transfer window is well and truly still on for Manchester United. Business is not done yet. And the Carlos Baleba situation is the one that is going to take, this one that's going to take off. One way or another, this week, I think we'll find out if United, and all of these reports that have come out, are completely genuine. I think they are, but I think in terms of Manchester United's interest, is that really real? And what they can afford. I think this is where Manchester United are at, and I think this is what we're going to find out this week. It's big because it will be a club record for Manchester United. We've said this before. It will be a record signing for the club, and it's a player that's been in the Premier League for 2 years. Just let that sink in a minute. Carlos Baleba on the scene, a 21-year-old, jumped onto the scene at Brighton as a 19-year-old teenager from Lille, who nobody knew about, nobody was picking up on, but their data analysis, research and recruitment brought him into the Premier League. He's been here 2 seasons, and he's worth over 100 million. That's how big a transfer this actually is. When you put everything into consideration, Manchester United are making a huge, huge call here. And like everyone's opinion of Carlos Baleba is mustard, brilliant, excellent, next best thing, world-class player. Everyone, and I'm the same. Are you not just scared a little bit though? That's what I'm saying. Are you not just scared a tiny little bit that this is And probably two fantastic players for the same price that United could bring in if they don't get Baleba. I know, I would take him and I'm all in. I don't care. I would pay what it takes to get Carlos Baleba in. But obviously I am and I'm not as concerned as what I would have been. Just from what I've seen in the first 2 months of this window and how Manchester United are doing business, the data analysis and making sure that the players are right, the way that we've approached transfers, the way that we've actually gone into bids, making sure the player is 100% certain he's coming for the right reasons, and that's been proved in every single transfer so far this season. So I am really confident that United are going to make sure that this is the right transfer for them and is the right player for them. I'm convinced by the player anyway. You don't even have to tell me some bad points about Carlos Baleba. His positives completely outweigh any negative that there is in his game, if there is any at that. And this would transform the way that Manchester United can play for Ruben Amorim. This, I feel, isn't just a Ruben Amorim signing. Like we said, Baleba coming in would be a signing for any manager coming in if Ruben fails later on down the line as well. That's what this player would be. 21-year-old, my God, like the ceiling is high for Carlos Baleba. We know this. And even if Ruben is gone, he's still going to be a player there. But I feel for Amorim right now, this player, Carlos Baleba, would allow him to play his system better than any of the, or more importantly, will contribute significantly enough more, I feel, than any of the other signings. Like, it's important to have the 9s and the 10s, the goalkeeper, the wing-backs. In his system, this player is pivotal. And he is going for the very best that is out there in terms of everything United have been looking for this summer. Premier League proven. Young, has the future at Manchester United, is athletic, he's strong, he's powerful, can pass, can carry a ball, and most importantly, has the character to play for Manchester United. He wants to be at this football club and part of the project. If United are sold on that, United will go to the very, very limits to make this happen. It is the signing that Manchester United want to make. They're not bothered as much about the money as long as they are buying a player that fits under their profile and fits under what they're looking for this summer. That money for United is safe. It's an investment. They are investing into Manchester United to take them to the Champions League. That's the holy grail for Manchester United. Baleba, Sesko, Cunha and Bumo. There's no if, buts or maybes about any of these players. You know that they can do it at the highest level. They've all proved it in the Premier League, Champions League for Sesko, Bundesliga for Sesko, Premier League for Baleba, and more to come. These are the players that Manchester United are looking at bringing in. And this is everything that United would have looked through over the weekend, like Romano said, judging the player's character, judging where he's at, what he wants to do. Has he bit straight away? Has his head turned, like we've said in many videos before? This is what this weekend was and how important it was for Manchester United. And now this week, I think it's going to come to a head. I really do hope it is, that they feel they can make something happen. And this is really important now for Manchester United in terms of what they do in the transfer market with the outgoings. And this will prove to me how they're looking at Manchester United as a whole and going forward on the pitch rather than anything else. Like bank sheets and balance sheets, they're all important. And I know they're important to United. We have to be very careful because of PSR and whatnot going forward with this. But this is more than just a balance sheet sign. This is more than just haggling over 10 to 20 million over a total valuation of a world-class player or potential world-class player. This is Manchester United investing in what we know is going to be a proven product to take Manchester United right to the top. And if they do feel like this deal is doable, I don't think the price should come into it. I don't. If they know the player wants United, I don't think the price is even a talking point. Look, everybody around the world of football will look at this and go, Man United are spending £100 million on a player that's had 2 seasons in the top flight. What are they doing? Is this a risk? Is it? Of course, it's Man United. They'll already know that this is going to be coming in the press and in the media. A massive risk, a massive investment. Every single football fan on the planet and pundit, though, will be looking at this and going, I cannot argue with this transfer. This is just a must. If United are going to get Carlos Baleba, it is the single biggest statement signing this summer has seen for every single circumstance that's involved in it. Like I just said, the 2 years only, 21, £100 million near enough. Massive. It is off the scale. It beats everything else that any other club are doing this summer for all of them reasons put together. And that's what that weekend was about for United. They'll be discussing everything like we have now in them boardrooms, in them meetings at Manchester United, the calls. They know what's coming. They know the onslaught that's coming from the media. They know everything that's going to come from opposition. We know what's coming with the fight that we're going to have with Brighton if we go all in on this. They just need to be prepared to have 100 million aside to go for this. Otherwise, I think we're going to have wasted our time and we could go into the season with no midfielder. They have to make the decision this week and go all in. Anything else past this is going to go over what we've done this summer. So everything that we've done and what we've brought in transfer-wise has been organised. It's been within time. There's been no rush. There's been no panic in any situation throughout this window. United this week, I think, is crucial for Baleba because obviously we go past this. We're into the last 2 weeks and all of a sudden it looks a little bit panicky. It looks like we're just trying to bring a midfielder in for Ruben Amorim because we need one, because we haven't got anyone good enough to play alongside Bruno Fernandes, who is Ruben's top man. And that, I think, is why Manchester United this week, personally, for me, and my own opinion on this, is United will go in this week for Baleba 100%. That's what I think will happen this week. What will happen for you? Get into the comment section, everybody. Give me your thoughts on this, please, straight away. Yes, retro and replica trading kits are on. You can see the QR code on your screen. The link is in the live chat as well. That's where I got mine from. A lot of people have been asking me about them. Get in there, grab it off the link in the live chat or off that QR code on your screen. That is where I'm getting mine from. Great deals, 15 quid for some top replica retros out there right now. So grab yourself a deal. Grab yourself a bargain. Peter, welcome to the members club. Peter Gochevsky, welcome, my friend. Annie has gifted 5 memberships as well. Legend. What a guy. Thank you very much, mate. We haven't properly invested in the midfield since Keno left. We would buy a cheaper, but why? Baleba could be our linchpin for the next 10 years to come. I think we have invested in the midfield. I just don't think we've invested the right way. And I think we have had players coming through our academy as well. That's actually we've never really done a significant midfield sign. I think Paul Pogba was big, wasn't he? That was a big one, Paul Pogba. Obviously, it's still our record-bleeding signing. So, of course, that was a real investment. So we can't say we haven't invested as such. But I also think that Manchester United have just blown that money and not looked at it. I said this before, can you imagine if you had this type of structure and organisation at Manchester United with the amount of money that we have blown over the last 10 years? We'd be winning everything. We'd be challenging for the Champions League every single season. This is where we should be. This is Manchester United. You need to be there with Barcelona, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, all of these big clubs. You need to be up there with them, at least just in the picture. Not faffing around in the Europa League, trying to get into the Champions League through the back door. United, with these signings and this type of structure, if this was in place 5 years ago, Manchester United would be set right now. We'd be in that Club World Cup. We'll be competing in the Champions League. We would be a million miles away from any of the problems that we've seen over the last 2 years in the Premier League. We really would. 3.75 million in 93 was a statement. 100 million now is the same. You look at inflation and going around, that would be the same, I think. I think it would be a massive signing for Manchester United. Again, are you prepared to break Manchester United's transfer record for a 21-year-old who's had 2 years in the top flight? That's how good this kid is. And that's what we're talking about right now. Andrew says, I don't think we will sign him. City are selling Savinho and Grealish. I think they will come in for him and get him. Look, if he wants United, he'll go to United. And City are not going to spend 100 million on a player. I don't think they're prepared to do it. I really don't. I don't think they'll go in for him. So I'm not concerned about City at the moment. I think United are only going for players that they know that they're in for and the player wants to come to them. Like we've seen with Newcastle, you can have all the reports like he's going to Newcastle and he's listened to Newcastle, but at the end of the day, he has been sold the project by Manchester United and he is going to be a main player in the middle of that project for Ruben Amorim, and I think that's what sells him. I'm not concerned about anybody else right now after what we've seen this summer, how United operate. If they knew that the player was thinking of going elsewhere, they walked away, like we did from Gyökeres. It's as simple as that. United found out that Gyökeres had another preference. We don't want you. Every single media outlet tried to push that Manchester United were still in for Victor Gyökeres. We weren't. We walked away as soon as we found out that Arsenal were interested. And he wanted Arsenal over United. That was it. Done. If any player gives them the sort of feeling that they want another football club or are preferring them over Manchester United, United are not in the race. It's as simple. And again, that's why what Romano said is probably the most important thing from this weekend, that United have checked everything. Is he looking elsewhere? Would Brighton sell? What's the price they would sell at? Can we get that money together? The player wants United. Brighton are open at this amount of money. We've got the wages covered. We know what the personal terms are. We know what that's going to cost each year now with Carlos Baleba. And now we have to calculate that on top of what transfer structure for around about 90 to 100 million is going to look like. We're in. Now we just need the confirmation of it this week is how I see it. A couple more super chats in as well. Thank you again to, first of all, Mane, legend over in Australia. Hope you're doing well, my friend. 82 base, 7 million in extras, and not a cent more. If they don't want it, it's fine. Remember, we're not fixing everything in one season. Sometimes missing out first time around is a blessing, but I think 90 gets him. I think it'd probably be a bit more, but there is a thought that between 90 and 100 we'll get this deal done this summer for Brighton and Carlos Baleba. We don't know if that is true. That is just something that has been reported through different accounts and different journalists at the moment. But again, a record for Manchester United is what this is going to take. That's all we have to look at. It's going to be into the 90 million mark, at least. But be prepared to pay 100 million is what I'm saying. And what I think is going to happen here, because next summer Carlos Baleba will be sold for 115, 120 million. Someone will go and buy him. It's as simple as that. That's what will happen. Brighton know it's going to happen. They have a track record of this happening for them, and their data and their analysis and what they do and the research that they put into their recruitment and how they run their football club has been proven since they arrived in the Premier League. You cannot argue with it. You could probably pick out a minor detail here and there about things that haven't quite worked out, but just look at the players that they're bringing in and knowing what they're going to get for them players. You only have to look at all of the Premier League clubs that have bought from Brighton for this to be proven. They know that next summer he's going to go for 120 million. So do United look at this now and go, it's 100 million this season, or it's 20 million more next season when we might not have Champions League football? Hang on a minute, let's spend 100 million now and get Champions League football, and then we don't even have to worry about that next season, and we could probably go out and buy somebody else with that money from the Champions League, because everything that we've invested this summer has helped us get to the Champions League. That's how you should be thinking. If you are one of these progressive football clubs and you want to continue at the highest level, then you need to be thinking on the football pitch, not about the bank sheets and the balance sheets of the football club's bank accounts. Yes, they are important, but they come secondary, because the only way that they look good is if you're winning. Manchester United have exhausted every single commercial opportunity possible. We know this. We bring in more revenue than anybody. We are the richest club in the world off what we create ourselves through a football business, and we're in millions of debt. That's been the last 10 years. A decade of commercialisation of Manchester United has got us to where we are now. And Ineos have come in and realised that you need revenues. You need match day revenues. You need to be getting prize money. You need to be able to counter PSR. No club with rich owners, Newcastle point proven, is going to make it in football unless you're winning. And winning brings you the biggest amount of money. And United, with what they've got, with the heritage and the history, winning trophies brings you better deals, because United sell. We know this. Add football to one of the best marketing and commercial teams that there is out there, which there is at Manchester United. We know this for a fact, and how we've managed to survive the last 10 bleeding years. Get that sorted. Put that together. It's unbreakable. That is an unstoppable force that Manchester United could be, as long as they get this right. Invest. Take that chance. The risk is there. Yes, it is. It's a lot of money. But what that will bring you completely completely eclipses what the concern is about how much you're spending on the player, I feel. He has proven someone else will buy Baleba for 120 million next summer, and we'll be licking our wounds, is what I think anyway. I go all out for him. Go all out for him, I think. And I think that's what we'll hear this week. Personally, I do think United are in. And I think now, going off what Romano has said, this is going to happen. I fear that this means more debt. There's no way we save this much by sacking backroom staff. This might look good now, but will shaft us later. Will it if we're successful? Because if we're in the Champions League block, then we're fine. We can balance the books. We can. We'll do something financially. Manchester United have big plans for the future, obviously with the stadium and everything that's involved in what they're building. Manchester United's revenues will go through the roof. All the big clubs are doing exactly the same thing, investing into being successful on the pitch. Real Madrid have done it for years. I've never fallen away. Barcelona are doing it the same. Their debt situation is worse than Manchester United's. And they're still bringing in players that they need to. Yes, they're hampered a bit now, but they'd spent and invested and got to where they are now and are pretty much safe in the knowledge that their revenues from match days and everything that's coming with that, with the Champions League consistently being there, is also going to help them. Okay, right, I need to move on because we've gone on long enough about that. Well, get your comments in on it and keep them coming in, please. I'll try and get through to the comment section again in a little bit, but let's get through more news. On Donnarumma, let's bring Donnarumma in next on this one as well. There is a friendly behind the scenes this week reportedly happening for Sesko and Onana at Manchester United, just to give them some match minutes before the start of the Premier League season at weekend. That's reported, the rumour. I don't know if it's true, but that's what's going around at the moment. Makes sense, to be honest, because they do need minutes, and I think we just need to get Sesko in that team. And to be honest, if we're going to trust in bleeding Onana, he needs to have played something before the start of the season. My God. But Graham Bailey this morning is reporting that Manchester United would be open to loaning Onana out to find room or make room for Donnarumma. Donnarumma is reportedly Manchester United's top goalkeeper target now. He is over the likes of Sene Lammens to bring in and fast track Manchester United to the point where we would need a goalkeeper in who's going to be number one for years to come. Donnarumma brings this. Now, Graham Bailey said PSG would accept in and around 40 million or less. The report of 26 million is going around. I think that's what gets it, because PSG have bought in Chevalier from Lille and he's their number one. They're just looking not to lose any money right now. And I think they will accept it. I don't think anyone can afford his wages. I don't think he wants to go to Saudi Arabia. That's not even on the cards. He's 26 and one of the world's best. Apparently, he wants 250 grand plus a week. I think United can afford that. I think United could afford even more if they wanted to really push this out. These are the gambles, like what Block said before. Like Manchester United investing a lot of money right now could come back to hamper us later down the line, yes. But if Manchester United are successful and the players that we're bringing in do have sell-on, we're not going to be in a situation when all of a sudden Manchester United are selling players that aren't worth anything, that nobody wants to pay for. Manchester United also, under Ineos, have invested and it's a lot of time and a lot of money into their academy players. And homegrown players, obviously pure profit players, are going to play a big role in what Manchester United do. Look at what we're doing with JJ Gabriel. We've just advanced Kai Rooney's development as well now. 15-year-old in the under-18s, under-17s, sorry, I think it was the other day. Or was it under-19s, actually? I can't remember now. But look what we're doing now. Look at the other under-18s players that are coming in to Manchester United squad. There is a bigger push to balance Manchester United out into the future. So bringing money in elsewhere. Donnarumma is, and probably wasn't, on Manchester United's radar at all. I think it's just come about through chance. And I've said this before. If the world's best is there, and you can secure him and afford him, you do it. It's as simple as that. This is massive because we've got Baleba on top, and United really do need to make some moves. Kai Rooney was the under-19s, by the way. Just had that confirmed now. So you can see what's happening. Manchester United have a lot of talent coming through their ranks. This summer, I think, is basically to get United back on a level keel and get United back up there challenging again. And then we might not need to spend as much money going into the future. This is one big summer investment for Manchester United. and look at the age of the players and what it's got. Effectively, if you go and get Baleba, you go and get Donnarumma, and what else we've brought in as well, the other 3 players, them 5 players is the next 5 to 6 years of Manchester United. Half a team. So you don't need to spend as much money over the next coming years. So maybe you go in and say, this summer we're going to spend 2 summers worth of money. And that's how we're going to balance it out, because we can sell some players as well, just to make this work this summer. And we don't spend as much money next summer. If United get into the Champions League, say if we bought Donnarumma and Baleba in, we get into the Champions League this season, all of a sudden Manchester United there have the extra money if they want to, but they're only going to have to go out and buy 1 or 2 players, not 5. 1 or 2. And you got more development coming through from Chido. You got more development coming through from the likes of Kone, players like this. Leon would have advanced. And let's not forget, look at the average age of the players next season at Manchester United. There won't be, unless Bruno stays, 1 player in that matchday squad near enough over the age of 30. Because Casemiro will go. I don't know about Harry Maguire. I think he should go, to be honest, and we need to move someone else in. And then the Bruno Fernandes situation. You can see how it's developing, how it's moving. If you can get Donnarumma, and like what Graham Bailey said this morning, it's a big outlay. It's a massive investment for Manchester United, this. But success on the pitch has to come first. It's the only way you will make enough money to survive. You can skimp and scrape and try and be just, well, balancing the sheet and not going over the top on money and trying to find these young talents, but finding players on the cheap to work for Manchester United with the pressure on this football club at the moment is not going to work. We've seen this now over the last few years. 8th, 15th, just about scraping in. It's not going to work. United cannot afford to be mid-table, and signings that have the prospect and could actually work in the future are not good enough now. It's ready-made fake players to come into United, but the fact that we're managing to get the players we have done this summer at the age that they are for the price that we've got them for and the wages that they're on is absolutely brilliant for Manchester United. And Donnarumma has to be in there. I'm sorry, you've got to go all out for Donnarumma and Baleba. It sounds like I'm going crazy. It sounds like I'm just going to send us bankrupt, Adam. We will be dead in the water if we don't make significant signings this summer. This is the season where it has to change at Manchester United. We cannot afford to fall further behind. And yes, we're spending a bit more than other clubs. Well, look how far behind we've fallen to other clubs. And we've all bemoaned not spending a lot of money and not getting investment from the owners at Manchester United. We've just unveiled the new training ground at Manchester United. There's plans in place for a new stadium at Manchester United. We are investing everything that we make and what we make from cutting jobs in the squad and in the first team 11, never mind first team squad. This is what we wanted. I don't understand. Like, this right now is everything that Manchester United have needed to do for the last 5 years, and we just let it deteriorate. So, yeah, Donnarumma in, Baleba in, go for the Champions League. That money then comes straight back into Manchester United. No problem at all. And the gate receipts, my God, you can only imagine. Because Manchester United haven't played in the Champions League since the new format came in. It would be a completely different ball game altogether for Manchester United getting back into the Champions League. Because I think we would stay there then. That's the importance of it. Manny with another super chat. Thank you, mates. The missing piece is this: changing the back three to a back two, left and right centre back only. Baleba makes that happen. We have the wing backs now, 1 or 2 goodbyes, and we master the way 3-4-3 is played. Well, I think Lenny Yoro is the future of the centre backs that will step forward and carry the ball. I think that's what will happen. I think getting the right midfielders in has been now key to this. The goalkeeper on top is the icing on the cake. And I think this is 2 transfer windows in one. That's what I think this is right now. Carrington not sponsored yet too. The Ineos Carrington training ground. 200 million invested into Manchester United. They'll get sponsors. They'll get sponsors in Manchester United. With this investment, Manchester United's price will be rising. The value of the club will be rising and rising and rising. They're bringing in proper players here. And as soon as Manchester United start, and this is the biggest thing now, all of this that we're talking about is all leading towards the weekend and the start of the season. Can United kickstart the season with a bang. That's what's important right now for United. Manchester United have expected to submit an offer for Carlos Baleba. Look, even the bleeding Spanish papers are talking about this now. That's come from Marco. That's another headline that's come in. I think looking now at this and the outgoings is important. Garnacho, was he vaping in that picture, by the way? Let's move on to the other players. Was he vaping in that picture? Is that picture real? Honestly, if that is real or not, I don't care. But I've seen pictures on Instagram with him sat down with his head down between his laps at the gym and things like this. I'm just like, God, what an absolute waste. What a waste. That's all I can think of with Garnacho. Honestly, I think the next 2 years are massive for him. He's going to be one of them forgotten men, or he kickstarts his career. I think Chelsea is a horrible move for him. But look, it's up to him what he does next. Like United have said, find yourself a football club. On the Chelsea side of things, by the way, it does now look like Newcastle are edging closer with Nicholas Jackson giving his preference to Newcastle. Leipzig, after selling Sesko to Manchester United, are in for Christopher Nkunku. So yes, at that, when we spoke yesterday on what Romano was saying, alluding to the fact that Chelsea are looking to move a couple of players out, then bring Garnacho in. I don't think that's for money. I think it's just for squad space, possibly. But Jackson and Nkunku both leaving and looking like them deals are pushing forward for Chelsea. And then Xavi Simons and Garnacho going the other way. So in terms of Chelsea, we know that personal terms are agreed. They've got Garnacho on the line waiting. And again, he's putting these cryptic clues online about timers, egg timers on his screen and how long it's going to take before he's playing again. I think that's what he's alluding to. You can only assume that because nobody in the professional game wants to be sat in his own personal gym doing nothing while everyone else is playing football. Let's not forget, Garnacho has not kicked a ball or a ball in competitive action all summer. He's not played football properly for about 3 months now. It must be killing him. It must be absolutely killing him inside. But yeah, that's where we're at, and we'd expect Garnacho to want to move this forward now. So maybe these clues are towards Chelsea getting closer from Garnacho. Obviously, like I just said, he surely wants to be on the pitch now and know what his future is and where it's going, because he's irrelevant right now to everybody, and that's how he's coming across. He's more popular on social media with his little pictures than he is for what he's doing on the football pitch. Who'd have thought that? 21-year-old coming through Man United's academy, one of the brightest prospects that we've brought through in years, ends up in this situation at the end of his second real season for Manchester United. Insanely disappointed. But yeah, on the Chelsea side of things, I think that one is moving forward now. I think could be another bid week. Hopefully it's a bid week. A big week for Garnacho. 700 likes in, everybody. Can we make that push up to the 1,000 mark on a morning show? That would be epic. Please do get involved. Give the video a like. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button as well, everybody. Closing in on 96k. That should be this week as well. Thank you, everyone, again for all of your support. Please do keep at it. Andreas in the super chats. Garnacho, perfect move is Napoli. He won't go, does he? He wants Chelsea. He wants to prove a point to Manchester United in the Champions League, is how I read it. And that's just me reading it myself, personally. I think he's just got it. I think he just hates United now and hates the way that he's been treated. And that's coming across with what he's doing on social media, the petulant side of him, the young petulant side of him. We have to remember he's still a young kid. And I think he's making mistakes right now that he will rue later on in his career at Manchester United. But I think that we're in a position now where Garnacho, I think, probably has had that reality check and he knows that something's coming. I think he's going to just, well, I hope he knuckles down and just makes this happen for himself, to be honest, because he is a wasted talent right now. I just don't want to see you back in the United shirt ever again. Next summer, big wages off the books. If D&M comes in, comes in, I will believe in the top 4. Donovan and I think that's what you're talking about here. But I believe that the top 4 is possible. Transfer window 10 out of 10, even without sales. Need to hit the ground running. Definitely do. Adam, will you still be at the Media City before the game, or have things changed now? No, still going to be in the back. I don't even know what I'm doing. I've got 2 football games before the game, actually, at weekend, mate. So I can't even tell you where we're at the moment with what we're doing. It's just mental. Really good to have football back at grassroots level. And it's I've got 3 games this weekend, actually, before we even get to Manchester United. Just realised that now. My God, yeah, non-stop. So, Block, I will have to let you know, mate, on that one, but I don't know, Sean. It's the honest answer of what I'm even going to be doing. Garnacho's perfect move is Napoli. I just said that one, sorry. Tusho has just renewed his membership. Thank you very much, buddy. Are we doing an FPL league? Oh, God, I'd never liked him. Honestly, I'm working on a couple of things. I'll let you all know before the end of the week what we're doing. If anybody's interested in it anyway. Lee Cape Town, 14 months a member. What a legend. Top guy. Thank you very much, mate, for that renewal. Everyone, please get your comments in. Sancho, quickly. Let's get on to him as well. First of all, quick chat from Lee Cape Town there. Says, hi, Adam and everyone. Garnacho is too big for his boots. He will learn the hard way. Glory, glory, United from the lovely summer day in Cape Town. Hope you're having a great day over there, mate. Hope you have a good one. Apparently, there is more news coming out as well. I'm just going to read through it all now. Ben Jacobs says Rasmus Højlund has been directly told he'll need to leave United. That was the news yesterday. Local journalist for the MEN, Samuel Luckhurst, has also come out this morning and said that Manchester United are open to selling and moving Rasmus Højlund on now. We know all about Rasmus. We're just waiting for the next bit of news on him. He is now leaving Manchester United. Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund could fund a lot of what we're doing with Baleba and Donnarumma. And like Graham Bailey said, if United loan out Andre Onana for a season, that puts them in a comfortable position also, because they are also ridding themselves of a bit of wage as well. And obviously that can go towards Donnarumma. If they sell the likes of Bayende, loan out the likes of Andre Onana, then there is a lot of room there. Apparently, Samuel Luckhurst has also said that Rasmus Højlund, now having been told he can leave Manchester United, or is leaving Manchester United, he is open to moving to AC Milan. That is the latest from the MEN, Samuel Luckhurst, this morning. That has just come out as we've been live. He's open now to moving to Milan. So I think the decision has been made. Rasmus is the next out, it would seem, followed by Garnacho. And then we move on to Sancho. Sancho is waiting for Juventus. My God, this guy is irritating beyond belief, isn't he? Jadon Sancho has turned down Besiktas and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now. He doesn't want to go to Turkey. He's holding out for Juventus. Nico Gonzalez is a player that they're looking to move out to bring Sancho in. Again, it's going to be one of them that goes towards the end of the window. When it comes to Man United bringing in the money that we need, I think we're calculating what we will be saving in players moving on. The obvious. We're going to move on Malacia, Anthony, Sancho, Garnacho, Rasmus. Put that all together. Can we afford Donnarumma and Baleba? That's where United are at. At least they're being active and getting the players in and taking that risk. It is a risk, and some would say is stupid, but let's not forget, they have all of the financial year. And even if players don't leave Manchester United this summer, they can still move them on in January as well. So United can stand firm with this. I think they're looking at the bottom line and all of these players and what they can make, and then making a judgment on the likes of Baleba and Donnarumma on what they can do. Say, for instance, like I just said, you sold Bayende, you loaned out Onana, you loaned out Rasmus, you sold Anthony, Malacia, Garnacho and Sancho for cheap prices. Bang, 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 all in. What can we do? Well, of course, we can do a lot. Let's not forget, Rashford will be gone next season, then wages off the books. Casemiro will be gone next season, then wages off the books. A fee for Rashford on top of that will be there for Manchester United next season. All that, I think United are calculating next season's window into this one, because this season is vital for Manchester United. We cannot be out of Europe again next season. So I think that's the risk. That is it. I think that's the minimal risk, though, for Manchester United. I think that's what they're looking at right now. But that's what I believe anyway. I can't see it being any other way for United. I really can't. Right. Talk to me. Get into the chat, everybody. Let's have a go. Reports claim Calvert-Lewin is coming in as a backup to Sesko. I know. I've seen that one as well, Ride. And someone who can help him learn about the Premier League quickly. That actually sounds like a good idea. No, it doesn't for me, because he wants stupid wages. And them stupid wages need to be spent elsewhere. Calvert-Lewin, if he comes in right at the end of the window, He's not coming in. I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't think United will go anywhere near him. And yeah, he's got rid of his old agent to go to Manchester United. How that helps him, I do not know. I just don't think United are in for him personally. Give Sesko the number 9 shirt now, even if Højlund stays. Make the point clear. Yes, Højlund isn't staying. I think it is. Andreas says with a super chat, Sancho is the worst player, talent plus attitude. Waste again. Chelsea SD wants Garnacho and not Maresca. It's the last day of the window opportunity, not priority sales needed for space first. That's from the Chelsea side. Ineos keeping under 200k for their signings are good and not overpaying in wages. Yeah, well, United have actually saved money. Like when these players all go, think what United have done in terms of bringing the wage bill down as well, by bringing better players in on top of that. Ludicrous. Mark says, just the Prem to concentrate on. Get these last 2 in and smash the league. What an opportunity with no other distractions. Yeah, exactly. You get this transfer window right, then you've just got Premier League football to deal with next season. This is big. United need to now take full advantage of this season. They really do. And I think they will do. I think this is what they're thinking as well. Hopefully it is what they're thinking anyway. I do hope drinking within the clubs either decreases or worsens. Either way, it would be improvement, really. Drinking, okay. I don't know. Ant says, the rubbish that we are trying to shift now is just symptomatic of a badly run club. I'm so glad that we are seeing a brighter dawn now. When these players have finally gone for good, we've actually not got much left to get rid of. All of the issues that we said. Remember all of the comments every single summer? Everyone went into a summer, didn't they? We've got to get rid of the Deadwood. The Deadwood has to leave this football club. The Deadwood is nearly gone. Once this summer's over and we get these deals done that we're all talking about, and I don't have to mention names. We obviously know who they are. Next summer you're losing Maguire and Casemiro. I'm not saying they're Deadwood, by the way. But these are players that have been brought up under this same umbrella, the high-earning players and whatnot. There's not going to be much more. We're actually going to look like a normal football club, which is really weird because we've been anything but for the last 10 years. And so, yeah, all for it. Bring it on, I say. I want to see more. Let's see what else we've got here in the chat quickly. Stanton says, we can do the Baleba deal for 5 years. I've just lost that comment now. Has it gone for 5 years, 20 million each season for 100 million? If Brighton are open to that, and that's the difference. And that's what you have to remember. It's not just what United could do; it's what the selling club would want to do as well. And they don't want to sell, so United are going to have to be prepared here to play a little bit of ball with Brighton and what they want. If they want the player, they're going to be paying a fortune. It's as simple as that. But they will end up winning because they have got the player. And this is going to transform Manchester United. So, just think of it this way. Let's just work this out quickly, actually. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to calculate this. This is just off what is reported right now. Let's just say Manchester United moved up, going off what the Premier League say every single position is worth. If United got to 5th this season with all of these signings, just put that out there, it's £30 million more in prize money from the Premier League. Dare I say more? If you get that, you get back into Europe, you see where you're going with this. Performance on the pitch is vital for finances, and Manchester United need to concentrate on getting right back up there. That is what Manchester United's priority needs to be. And bringing in players like this that will pay for itself. Okay, let's wrap things up there, everybody. That is the morning show. Covered all of your information on what is happening. I'm sure it's going to be a busy day. I will be back later on. I am actually on Sky Sports News this morning. That was something else I was just waiting to be confirmed on as well. Yeah, Apparently, I don't know, but it looks like we're doing some form of transfer show with opposition fans. Don't know for certain just yet, but we'll see later on. Around about 11 o'clock, I will be on Sky Sports, everybody. So show your support, jump on, and obviously see me in action there as well. That is coming up today. Please give the video a like on the way out, everybody. Obviously, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Less than 200 away from 96k now. We are flying. Thank you, everyone, again, for all of your support. Mods, great job. Thank you for all the super chats. Don't forget to check out the QR codes on your screen for your replica retro kits and all training kits and new shirts as well for every single club out there. Also, Match Bingo as well is in there. More on that in this evening's show as well. And we have got a call-in show later. Don't forget, everybody. Oh, have we got a call-in show? I'll need to confirm that later, actually, because I've got a busy night as well. Sorry. I'll let you all know throughout the day. But that's it. Thank you, everyone. Again, like I said, give the video a like on the way out, subscribe, and I'll see you all later on. Have a good Monday. There is more news coming, I can promise.